Hey guys, this is Key with Key's Closet. Thanks for tuning in today. Before we get started, I want to remind you all to follow me on Instagram and to like my page on Facebook. All right, y'all. I'm here today on Key's Closet again with Leslie Lyons. Leslie, say hello.
Hey, Kiana, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yes, thank you so much. So, this episode was about how to initiate sex. And I had a couple of questions for you because, like I said earlier, I went to a few of your studio's pole dancing classes and it has
Woo-hoo.
really helped me. So, I was wondering if you could give us a little information that may help others that you know.
Well, yeah, this is my life's work. So I've been doing this for 15 years, helping women connect to their sensuality and in turn owning their sexuality, owning their pleasure, increasing joy in their life. That's what the fuck I do. So I'm super excited to be able to help. So anyway, any questions you have, hit me with it and I'll try and share what I know. I don't know everything, but I do have 15 years worth of experience helping women connect to that.
Okay, and that's what we're here for because I love anybody who can help. Like you said, you don't know everything. That's what I say on my show. I let people
Okay.
know in my last episode. We all do not have all the answers. We can only tell you from our experience.
Hello, there you go. And the experience of guiding other women through it.
Yes, ma'am. That's what we're here for.
Also,
Yes. Okay, so my first question was what is the mission of the bombshell movement?
yeah, absolutely. So we help women reclaim their voice and their power through their sensuality and own their sexuality. So for me, all of those things are linked together. When a woman is empowered sexually, it trickles into every area of her life. That level of confidence, that ability to ask for what she wants, which is right along with the theme of this today, how to initiate sex. You got to ask to initiate, right?
Right.
So it's about empowering women to speak in a world that is constantly trying to get women to shrink.
Yes.
So our space is all about how do I step into that confidence, that innate confidence that all women have? It might just be buried for some, and own that in a way that increases my capacity for joy and pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what you all do in the classes too. Because I'm my boyfriend, he liked it.
Ah,
He couldn't believe it. Oh my goodness, you did so good in the videos.
oh, that's what's up.
Yes. Okay, so what do your classes pertain to?
Yeah, it depends on which class you're taking,
Mm-hmm.
but all of the classes have an element, a couple of elements that will be in all classes. And so I'll kind of talk about two. So our traditional pole class, like our intro to pole and sensual movement, those classes have a couple of elements. Number one, we teach grounding and pleasure principles at a very high level, but just really some ways for you to tap into what we call your feminine genius, your intuition, that guiding force, that knowing that all women have. So we start with grounding practices, and then we move through a sensual but pretty intense warm up. It's a mat based warm up. And then obviously we teach pole tricks, floor work, a little bit of twerking, a little bit of lap dancing, anything that'll help a woman get more in touch with her sensuality and sexuality. So that's our typical class. That's what 90% of people who come to our studio come for. But then we have what we call our siren sanctuary and our smolder classes.
Ooh.
That is for women and it's invitation only. So you can't just sign up for those classes because we get kind of deep in them classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about uncovering your sexual personality. We basically work with 5 archetypes that we found that most women have and help you. Let's just cut to the shits. We help you own what you want sexually
Ooh.
and what turns you on. What do you like? Because here's the thing, Kiana, some women are so performative in their relationships that they have never taken the time to say, am I doing this because this is what I think the dude wants or the woman wants, depending on, how they get
Right.
down. Is this what my partner wants? And they put, what do I like to the back of the list?
Mm.
So the median age at our studio, I always say we're not a young girl studio. The median age at our studio is about 34. So these are women who kind of know who they are in life, but they have a tough time connecting to raw sexuality. So it's a safe space. It's actually a brave space where we kind of explore that at a different level. So yeah, those are the two types of classes that we offer.
Oh, that's nice, because I didn't know anything about
Yeah,
the
we kind of keep it low key because we don't want to just attract freaky folk.
I know. Everything is out here now, you know. People be into everything.
Yeah. We just want to make sure that when women show up, it's truly the woman who needs this.
Right. That makes complete sense. I like that. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what made you want to start helping women find themselves? What in your life may have changed your perspective?
Yeah, for sure. So when I was very young, I was affirmed by my father in my voice. I always tell the story of the fact that I was 4 years old and my mother, who I lost back in April. So these stories are very dear to me these days. But when I was 4 years old, my mother had made some doggone Brussels sprouts. Now, I love Brussels sprouts now as an adult, but as a child, I clearly did not. And I grew up in the era, because I'm 48, I grew up in the era where kids didn't have much of an opinion in most, especially in Black folks' houses. That ain't how it got down. But my mother, so I was sitting at the dinner table with my dad. He had just come home from work and he was asking me about my day. And my mother put those Brussels sprouts down in front of me. And just by reflex, I was like, I don't want those. And my mother was like, what? What you say? And I remember clearly my father saying, E, because my mother's name was Elaine. He was like, she has a right to speak her mind. Now she gonna eat them, but she has a right to say how she feels about things. And so I went through my young life feeling like my voice mattered and that it was extremely important. So, but things started to shift when I got to middle school. And I started to hear, unfortunately, what a lot of women hear is you're too much. You're too opinionated. You're too loud. You always got something to say. You know, back in the day, Kiana, I don't know how old you are, but back in the day, they used to actually give you grades on your mannerisms in class. And so I would always get a failing grade or needs improvement when it came to self-control or talking.
Right.
But what that did over time is, and I didn't know this until later when I started doing my own work, was that I call these people light dimmers. So they were chipping away at my self-esteem. They were chipping away at my voice, because once you're told that you're too much and no man is ever going to be interested in you because you're too loud, you're too this, you too that, you'll never be somebody's wife. I was hearing these sorts of things quite regularly, quite frankly. By the time that I got to the age where I did want to start being in serious relationships, fast forward to, I picked a thug. I picked a corner boy. I always tell people that my sexuality was very performative and other, meaning what did he want? What did he need from me? And quite frankly, it turned into an abusive relationship.
Right.
And so he was beating my behind on a regular basis because he was a dope boy. This was kind of his thing. I had a child by him, the classic hood girl story. And it took literally me almost losing my life dealing with him for me to start saying, you know what, this shit's not working. And so I started the road to reclamation, is what I call it. And pole kind of came along in the road to reclamation because I realized I went from this really confident girl to this battered woman. And it wasn't the traditional stories, because when you think about domestic violence, it's usually women who are like, my daddy wasn't around, you know, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. No, my story was not that. My father affirmed my voice. the world took it away. And so I had to go through that process. And pole came along. I saw it on Oprah. And this woman was talking about not what we think about with a pole, because up until that point, I thought, hey, bust it down, bust it wide. This is what we do, cinnamon honey buns kind of a thing. This woman was talking about the language of reclamation, power, taking back what someone's stolen from you. That clicked with me immediately. Like, this had been stolen from me. How do I take it back? And that's how I got started. And that literally, we opened our studio going on almost 16 years ago. So my pole journey started almost 19 years ago.
That's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
That's
Thanks.
amazing. I love, oh, and to answer my condolences for your mother as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that.
I know, was it COVID? Not to
No, thank God, no, it wasn't COVID, but COVID definitely played a part in her leaving here the way she did, because they had locked down the hospitals and all of that. But no, she had heart problems.
Oh my goodness, my condolences.
No, thank you for that, Kiana. I appreciate that.
Of course. Also, I'm 24.
Okay. Oh, so you're a baby. Okay, I love it. I love it.
That's why I said, this podcast is for me to learn, for everyone here to learn, because I'm younger. I'm not as experienced, of course, because of my age. So
yeah, you're a baby still, but that's what's up. Yes. I'm glad you're interested, though. Absolutely. I'm glad you're interested and that you are exploring that already. That's what's up.
Yes. Also, I also was in an abusive relationship, so I absolutely can relate to what you just said, because me, myself, I was about 18 when it started, and I was 18 when it finished, because I had a higher tolerance then, I can say that. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of hell in me at that age. Mm-hmm. So I was always, you started, I'm going to finish it. You started, I'm going to finish it. So it was always like a constant, okay, you start the shit with me, now I'm about to finish it.
That's what's up. I feel that energy.
But see, it was so bad, because that's what made me stay, because I was enjoying fighting you back. And that was the problem. And also, like you said, my father, I came from a 2-parent household as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why when people also say, oh yes, the parent is because she doesn't have a dad at home. That's not always the situation at all.
It's not. And we need to stop with those harmful narratives in our community. Like, number one, the narrative that most Black women don't have daddies. Let's start there.
Right.
Because a lot of us have daddies.
Everybody has a daddy, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah, everybody got a father, right? A daddy in terms of a sperm donor. Exactly. But the fact that we come from fatherless homes, thank you for that reframe.
That's
absolutely fatherless homes. We don't. And so, and also every abused woman isn't, somebody who came from dysfunction, for lack of a better term.
Right. Absolutely.
Anybody can be abused. It depends on your mindset and where you're at. So yeah, I'm glad though that it was grand opening, grand closing with you. I'm glad you figured that out in 1 year, as opposed to me. I was with him for about 4 years and had a child with him. Right. So, it gets to be kind of messed up, hey, to say the least.
Out of it. You made it out.
Yeah, by God's grace. Yeah,
right. Sure. That's what counts. God was with you through that entire journey. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, back on topic. We don't went off. So my next question was to you. Have you had clients tell you that the classes have helped them sexually? Other than me, of course, because I just told you.
Yeah. And thanks for that feedback. Absolutely. Because especially in classes that I teach personally, I don't play games, because I'm a grown-ass woman. Let's start. Okay. I don't play games. And I'm like, so when women try to lie or they start talking to me, oh, I'm coming to do pole because I heard it was a great workout. Girl, carry your behind the TRX. If that's what you want. Pure Barre, we got, in Beverly, we got 5,000 fitness options. You are at pole because you want to connect to your sexuality. So let's cut to the games and let's just speak real, right?
Yes.
So once we've created a brave space where women can let down their hair and really be honest with each other, girl, I hear all types of stuff all the time about how it's improved their sex life.
Right.
Because it starts with communication. The best sex is when two people can communicate what they want and need, period.
Period.
And a lot of women, though, and there's conditioning around this, and you know this, Kiana, there's conditioning. There's what hoes do versus what wives do. You know, you'll never be wifed up if you this. You'll never, it's kind of like the what's that girl's name? Aisha Curry versus Meg the Stallion kind of a thing, where, or Cardi B kind of a thing. It's like hoes losing or hoes winning and you losing and this and that and that. No, we all women. And the only person who loses is the person who can't clearly articulate what she wants.
Exactly.
As long as you own your decisions and they benefit you, that's all I care about. So women will absolutely say, man, to actually tell him for the last 15 years that I don't like when he kissed me on the back of my neck, changed the game for me. Like, so I can actually orgasm, because there's a lot of women who don't even orgasm. We could go really deep on that. And those women sit on our mats and they're like, I just don't know. For so long, it's been about him and what he wants that now I don't even know what the fuck I want.
Right.
How do I find that? And through your senses, like, so a lot of our classes, because you've taken classes, but you've never taken a smolder class. But one of the pleasure rituals that we do is it's a sensory ritual, and any woman can do it anytime, but it's basically just exploring your body with your fingertips, not your hands, but just your fingertips, to see as you gently start at your fingers and go up your body and all over your body, where do you tingle? Where do you come alive? And for some women, it can be the strangest of places, like they would have never thought behind their knee, even though that's clearly an erogenous zone.
Right.
But some women have not explored that. For other women, it could be when they trace their lips. It could be for other women's when it is behind their ears. But until you just sit with pleasure, we just think our clitoris or our nipples, and obviously our vulva. Like, we think those are the main spots, but oh my goodness, your body is an erogenous zone.
Right.
How do we prolong sex? How do we make it more pleasurable? All of those things, it starts with you knowing what turns you on. So that reclamation, if you will, that exploration, if you will, is what we guide women through.
Okay, I see that. So in the mind state, how do I explain what I'm trying to say? So with your mind state, you have to be absolutely at your most relaxed to really figure out the spots.
Yeah, I think if you don't know what the spots are, you got to go inward. So I like your word relaxed for sure. Relaxation is part of it. But I also think of that damn Bernie Mac comedy special when he was talking about anal sex. He was like, relax your muscles. You got to relax your...
Oh my God. Rest in peace, Bernie, man.
Yes. You got to relax your muscles. But you do have to be in a relaxed, calm, insightful, embodied is the word I use for it, Kiana. You have to be embodied. So you have to be in touch with what's going on in your body.
Right. So that, because I know because I'm a person who has trouble with, I'll say, coming during sex as well.
Okay.
And I believe it's because I'm more clitorally, however they say it, stimulated.
Yeah.
So a lot of men find that intimidating because it is harder for me to come during sex. So I would try to figure out, and you just, like I said, this podcast is about learning.
Yeah, for sure.
And you just taught me today another thing. I didn't know about the fingertips and figuring it out, what different spots would also help.
Yeah. Well, our clitoris is only there for pleasure, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Our clitoris has no health purpose at all.
Right.
God is amazing in that way.
Right.
There's almost 8,000 nerve endings in your clitoris. And so, of course, you're stimulated in that way because that's the way it is.
Right.
So here's what's funny and interesting. So I've been with my husband now 28 years, 29 years exclusively. So when I think about, a man being intimidated, I had to kind of get into a different framework. Why the hell he intimidated? Why don't
Right.
how about you stimulated? Like, it ain't nothing to be intimidated about. Like,
okay,
get us in a sexual position where you can stimulate me with your fingers while you're penetrating me or whatever, so that I can get to where I'm going. It ain't nothing to be intimidated about, bro. Let's just flip this position around.
Okay, maybe this one isn't for me. Maybe it's for you, but it's not for me.
Come on. And a real man, if we're going to really talk,
Oh.
A real man would never be a selfish lover. A real man is never only going to be concerned about their needs exclusively.
Okay.
So I'm like intimidated. Dude, you better try another position and quit playing.
You out here revealing my next episodes. Oh my gosh. One of my next episodes was about selfish sex.
Oh, come on. I'll definitely tune in for that because, I'm like, ain't no way in hell you should be intimidated by something like that. But I do know that and can I just say they boys? These are not men, these are boys. And I'm not saying that to throw shade.
Right.
Because you have to grow, right? Like none of us just woke up like completely evolved in this way.
I woke up like this.
Right.
Come on now.
So boys have to be taught how to be men. And in addition to providing and, protecting, which is what men primarily do well, they also have to be taught how to please women. And most of the time, let's be honest, where do men learn about sex? Porn. And porn don't teach you to be selfless.
It doesn't.
So we got to give brothers a little bit of slack. Because most men ain't discipling men the way they should around that and saying, but I know my dad told my brother these things. Like what it looked like to keep your woman satisfied. I know my dad had those conversations with my brother.
Right.
And he's been married now 15 years and his wife seems to be happy. You know what I mean? Right. But I don't think that a lot of men have been discipled in that way. Porn disciples them. So I kind of give them a little bit of slack in that regard because they don't know nothing. They think you like it. You like that girl? You like it? The harder I go putting your head down there through a wall.
Right.
They don't know no better, Kiana. So we got to teach them because they ain't been taught.
You're right. That's the absolute truth.
Yeah, they haven't been taught. So unfortunately, sometimes women got to teach them. But if I got to teach you, I'm going to teach you. Okay?
Right. If I got to show you that you're supposed to put your hands here and not here, then I got to do that.
Yeah, I got to do that.
Satisfaction at the end of the day.
Come on, Kiana. You better say it twice so they can hear you in the back.
They better hear me. Y'all heard that. You got to tell him what to do so that it can satisfy you at the end of the day.
That's it. That's it. Your pleasure matters.
Correct. The pleasure Leslie teaches in her classes. Hopefully y'all will get an invite. Hopefully y'all get an invite to that class because Leslie is teaching. She's spinning right now, but she's teaching over there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that.
Yes. Okay, we are down to our last question.
Awesome.
So what is your advice to women who are shy? Other than what you said today, just anything else.
Yeah. You said, what is my advice to women who are shy?
Yes.
Sexually shy or shy in personality?
Sexually shy.
Okay, because there is a difference.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So women who are sexually shy, I'm gonna go a little deep and then I'm gonna make it real accessible.
Okay.
Some women are sexually shy due to trauma. Okay. If they've been raped or molested, that can make you very timid around sex. So it would be reckless of me just to give general advice without acknowledging that sad fact for some women. Because unresolved trauma is one of the number one reasons that women don't enjoy sex. And so I often say, if there is shyness around it that is trauma related, I would like for a woman to get the support she needs, therapy for that, to unpack that so she can get on the road to healing. What we do at Bombshell can be a part of a treatment plan, but it is not a treatment plan. And so that would be the first thing. If your shyness is trauma induced, don't be bashful about getting the mental and spiritual support you need to recover from that, to work through that. So that's the first thing I want to say. Now, if you're just shy because of social conditioning, like, good girls don't suck dick kind of a thing, that's a whole nother story.
Right.
And so my question to that sister is, how bad do you want an orgasm? Like, do orgasms matter to you, sis, or not? Do they matter to you or not? Because if orgasms don't matter to you, you just keep on being closed off. Right. As they say, closed mouths don't get fed. So the big thing that I would say to the sexually shy sister who's been conditioned in that way through society, through church, through family, whatever, I would say, do you want an orgasm or not? If you do, let's start with tiny steps. Number one, the ritual of touch, your touch ritual. That's what I would say for women, just to sit in the bed. And I'm not talking about masturbation necessarily. I'm talking about just that tingling, touching yourself and see what you like. So let's say you find out about the erogenous zone that is behind your knee. Doing your self-touch exploration, your sensual, I call it a sensual awakening exploration, you find out about the back of your knee. The next time you're with your partner, just offer that one thing. Kiss me here, touch me there. So it ain't this big, huge declaration of things, but start small. You discovered something, offer it to your partner. See if it's something you guys can explore together. So I would say start with your own sensual awakening. Find one spot that maybe you weren't aware of or it felt particularly good, and then ask for your partner to stimulate that area and see where it goes from there. That's what I would offer, Kiana.
Nice. I love it, especially incorporating the actual partner in the situation with you. Because I understand we do, play with ourselves, and people say, oh, well, if you do it with yourself so much, it's going to make it harder for with you and a partner to get to it. Like, the little Facebook posts say, they can't make them come because they dildos and they play toys is this big. Talking about because they got 8 different settings on their vibrators and X, Y, and Z. How am I going to make you come after you do all of this?
Let me tell you this, and that my response would be to that ignorant ass statement would be.
I'm telling you, you got to get on Facebook and see.
Girl, I can't, Kiana. I can't. I got too much stuff going on to get my brain cells to this.
Facebook's
But
a headache.
I can only imagine. Good. I'm gonna leave that work to you, Kiana. You got the mantle, girl. Take it and run. But I'm gonna say this. If a vibrator can stimulate, if a vibrator can replace human connection, bruh, you got problems.
I don't need you.
I don't need, if a vibrator can replace you, we got a problem, because we know as women, we need to be mentally stimulated. A vibrator could never do that. In order for us to have a full-fledged, powerful orgasm, my brain got to be involved.
Right.
So if a man is intimidated because you got a cockosaurus for a vibrator, that's rearranging organs up in that mug.
Right.
He better get his mind game going. He better get his verbal game going, because he needs to get in my head. Not just my cooch.
Okay, you better start
So
using that mouth service.
come on, you better do more. And so I guess for me, I think that those types of statements just are from a lack of maturity.
That's a fact.
That's all. That's all. And I also think your next episode, like being a selfish lover, those porn gives men those types of thinking. And so you got to deconstruct that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to help them with it. They need help, Kiana. They need help.
They need help. We need to figure it out.
Yeah, but I prefer for men to just tell them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I prefer for you to be discipled, but if you can't get a disciple, I'm gonna have to help you out because I'm not gonna be walking around here without pleasure and orgasms in my life. No,
Okay.
ma'am, no girl.
You being happy and I'm walking around mad. Oh, I'm happy. I'm making you happy. No,
No,
it don't work like that.
not at all. Not around these parts.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Leslie.
Oh, Kiana, thank you so much. This was fun.
I really appreciate the chat.
Yo, I totally appreciate you inviting me on, and I wish you continued success with your podcast because the message of sexual liberation and ownership needs to be heard from as many voices as possible.
Absolutely.
And so I am so happy to support your voice. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Leslie.
Oh, thank you, Kiana. And you have a great week. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes, stay in touch.
Will do. Thanks, Kiana. Bye-bye.